Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Hello. Thanks for joining. Lots of new people joining as well, which is great. It's a good turnout. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll get started, everyone. So grab a cuppa or a drink or anything, or you can eat your lunch while we're on today. If you're particularly busy, don't worry about that. It's just happy to have everyone on and involved in today's event. So we'll just give it a couple of minutes to get some more people on, make sure everyone's on, and then we'll get started.
Ellie, one of the things might be useful as people are joining is if you've not got a pen and paper to hand, that's something that you'll need for today, because we're going to be doing some reflection work. So if you haven't got that, go grab that, because that would be useful if you want to participate and get the most out of the session today.
Brilliant. Perfect. So pens and paper, people.
Hi there. Elly, I thought it might be worth mentioning that if you are here and are currently employed and don't kind of wish to turn your camera on, or indeed want to change your name, that's also fine. We're really open to support everybody that's here today, whether you are on furlough, whether you've been made redundant, whether you're job searching, whether you're kind of interested in what Elly and I are doing today. So whatever feels the best way for you to participate today, please do so. We can maintain that confidentiality, but also ensure that you get what you need out of today's session as well.
Exactly. Yeah, we do record all the sessions, everyone, just so you know. So they do get recorded because we use them on for people that can't make the events. We will put the videos on YouTube. So if you do want to keep your cameras off, that's absolutely fine. But we are going to try and make today as interactive as we can, and help particularly anyone who's unemployed at the moment, help you guys secure your next opportunity. And the best way we can do that is by being interactive if you're open to it, but completely understand if not. So you can have as much involvement and as little involvement as you like, really, today. Right, shall we get cracking then, Lucy? We're probably, it's coming up to 4 minutes past, isn't it?
Yeah, sounds good.
Probably get started. So hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name's Elly Greaney and I'm the Managing Director of Transition Partners. If you are unaware of Transition Partners and who we specialise in IT, business change, transformation and digital recruitment. Our headquarters are up in Leeds. We do national recruitment, and actually we've got really good coverage over Europe. We have an office over in Berlin as well. So we work with a number of clients, I guess varying industries within tech, but we've been helping a lot of people that are out of work and helping support our community to find and secure their next opportunity. So wanted to, I guess I met Lucy probably about 4 or 5 months ago now, wasn't it, Lucy? And we had a kind of natural affinity. We're definitely on the same wavelength, same energy and passion for helping support people and individuals with employment. So we wanted to put together a really interactive session today for people that are challenging to finding a challenge to get their next opportunity, or they want a bit of encouragement, a bit of positive support to take the next leap in their career. So as Lucy mentioned, it is going to be an interactive session today. So if you want to get involved, feel free to turn your camera on. If you don't, there's no need to. We will need you to grab a pen and paper as part of the session, because we're going to be doing some interactive sessions a little bit later on in the session. Just so you're aware, at Transition Partners, we host around 30 to 50 tech events a year. Since COVID, everything's gone online, which is great because it means it's all recorded for you to be able to access and added to our YouTube channel. We've got a few upcoming events over the next couple of weeks. I've got one on Thursday lunchtime, actually, which is called Thriving Through Menopause, which is going to be another interactive session. But we've got loads of other interesting sessions coming up around what the tech is next, which is about tech leaders and opportunities within business over the coming months. So please do get involved as much as you can in the events. They're great to attend, completely free, and you can also catch up on our YouTube channel afterwards. But we do post about all of our events on the Transition Partners LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram page. So feel free to follow us at Transition Partners. Today's really about working together as a community to help one another. So if you've got any really positive feedback or really great things that you've got going on at the moment, or trials and tribulations that you're struggling with, we understand that it's a really difficult time for people at the moment, for all of us individuals, for a number of reasons, but particularly I think when you're out of work and looking for your next opportunity. We do send feedbacks following today. Alicia will send out feedbacks from the Transition Partners webpage for you to all fill out. If you can please take the time to just give us a little bit of feedback following the event, that'd be fantastic, because that helps shape the direction of our events moving forward. And actually a lot of the time it gives us future topics, so things you want to learn about that we can add value in, we will be offering that. So I'm going to be running a little session after Lucy about our back to work tool, which is a free outplacement tool that we created at Transition Partners. But before I go into that, I'm going to introduce you to Lucy Dennis, who is an executive coach with a strong background in learning and development from the likes of Deutsche Bank, HR from Hitachi, and more recently she's been supporting startups grow and develop through people. So hi Lucy.
Hi Ellie, thank you. And what we hope to do, as Ellie was saying, is really to approach this in a partnership approach. Ellie obviously has a huge amount of experience and skills in recruitment and resourcing, as well as all of her network with women in technology and all of her technology partners. My experience working with startups, either predominantly focused on tech or as a business partner in technology firms, I hope to be able to not only share with you some insight into how you can coach yourselves today, but also demonstrating a knowledge of the industry and potentially some of your backgrounds as well. So as Ellie said, my focus for my company, which is 3LD Coaching, is working with ambitious startups at the sort of Series A to B to IPO or acquisition stage. And I really believe that in that huge growth period, the more that we can help leaders to develop using coaching skills is a huge advantage to helping their businesses grow fast. So that really is where I come from. I'm a huge advocate of coaching, and that's what I'd like to share with you a little bit today as well. So first of all, if those of you who know how to use the chat function, which I'm just going to presume everybody's cool with that now. So in the chat function, it'd be really great to understand if you're happy to share where you are at the moment. So are you on furlough? Have you been made redundant and you're actively job searching? If you're employed, you might not want to say, but if you do, then that's great. Just where are you? It gives me an indication as to sort of how to pitch this session for you so that you can get the most out of it. So if you want to just type into chat, what's your situation at the moment? So thanks, Kevin. Always nice to be the first one. So recently made redundant. Okay, I'm wondering whether anybody else is in that similar situation. Hi, Tracy. Nice to see you. Okay, so job searching. Nice to see some people that I know on here. Lovely. So I'm imagining that because you are here, you're obviously job searching. I'm guessing some of you have been made redundant. Others of you might be on furlough or coming up to finishing a position. So one of the things that I'd also like to ask you is how you're feeling right now. So are you feeling overwhelmed and don't know where to start? Are you feeling demotivated because you've had some rejections or people aren't getting back to you? Are you feeling quite planful and organised and know what you're doing with this job searching malarkey? Give me a sense of what's going on for you right now, again, so that I just can kind of get a sense as to how to pitch this session for you. I can see you're focused, Kevin, because you were the first one that made the
he's not messing around,
that replied. So great. So pretty focused. I'm wondering if that means that you're feeling organised and planful as well. Have you got a direction for that focus? Up and down. Yeah, Heidi, I can appreciate that. And I think job searching is tough enough without the craziness of the last few months as well. Thank you for sharing. Okay, so a bit of a mixture so far. So Kevin's focused. We've got some up and down. and focused on upskilling. Nathan, thank you. So yeah, an ambition to learn more skills, using this time to think about what you might want to do differently or what you can learn. And that's certainly something that Elly's Back to Work tool can give you some more information and guidance on as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just, I guess, kind of bit of a focus in on why we might be experiencing some of the feelings that we are at the moment. Okay, so Elly, just give me a nod that you can see my screen. Super.
All good.
Okay, so I was doing some research a few weeks ago into sort of where we're at and what's happening to our psyche as we are as we kind of cruise through this pandemic. And one of the things that I really liked reading about was something called the surge capacity. And I want to explain what that is and see if you connect with it at all. So when the pandemic started in March, we had the craziness of setting up a home office, Zoom, shifts with partner, how are we going to do the homeschooling stuff if you've got kids, or actually now I'm furloughed, and the shift in energy for that. Or perhaps at that point you were already job searching and you thought, what on earth is going to happen now in this situation? As we moved on, if you were in work, the way in which you delivered priorities changed. You had a different focus on your teams and how you got them up to speed, how indeed you managed your mental health and your well-being. And as we moved into the summer, and if we have children, some kids went back to school, some didn't. You were going to go on holiday, that got canned, then you could go again, then you couldn't. You run out of energy for the quiz nights. Perhaps you got made redundant in July when we saw a large kind of increase in people losing their jobs at this point. As we moved into autumn, we had the rule of 6, or is it 2? Face space. How long is this going on for? We started to lose some of that momentum. And if you're job searching, I imagine this is starting to feel pretty painful. Last month, we thought, actually, I'm pretty much spent. And a lot of what we're seeing, both in research that large research bodies are doing, is that people are kind of tired and fatigued. I had a coaching conversation with a client last week who just said, I am knackered. I don't even know how to prioritize anymore. And if that's you with your job searching, I'm hoping that this session here with Elly and I can help refocus you and re-energize you and give you some direction as to how you get that next boost of energy to kick on and focus on the next few months and getting yourself that role that you want. So I want to talk to you about these 3 things. Don't give up. You are not alone, and the fact that you matter. So I imagine some of you have felt like you might want to give up. Not Kevin. Kevin's pretty focused. I'm on that. But Heidi, you mentioned that there's kind of up and down days. And on some of those down days, the kind of, I just don't know whether I can do this anymore, is really common. So I just want to, I guess, recognize with all of you that what you are feeling right now, if you're having some of those down days, everybody goes through periods of experiencing that. So what we want to do is shorten the wallowing. And a colleague of mine is has spent some time designing something around there's a limit to the wallowing, which I really kind of like. We can wallow, but then we just need to crack on and kind of pick ourselves up. So let's think about how we do that. Firstly, treating your job search like a job will set you in really good stead. So those of you that haven't got a routine, if you're actively job searching and perhaps you don't have children or dogs and things like that to get up for in the morning, at which case you might be up by 7. But for those of you that haven't got a kind of routine into your job searching, that's really critical to do at the moment. So thinking about what hours of the day are you spending doing job searching? Pick the hours of the day when you know you have your highest level of energy. That might be in the morning, it might be after lunch, whatever it is, use that time wisely to approach your job searching. For those of you that haven't, some space and a dedicated area that's clutter free to focus in on job searching is a really good idea. So clearing your mind, getting ready to spend your time job searching and looking and applying. Some of you might have already created your desk space or whatever, I'm sure you have, but get that into a space that feels clean and decluttered. I'm imagining that most of you have heard of SMART goals. Now, this is really important when you come to the task that you're doing at the moment. But setting yourself one goal of, I will get a job, doesn't always work. What you need to think about is how you're going to break that down into incremental steps each day, or even each hour, depending on how you like to prioritize. So smaller goals might be making an appointment to talk to a recruiter today, emailing 5 contacts this morning, spending 1 hour on LinkedIn and researching how it is that you can increase your visibility of your profile. And on the Back to Work tool that Elly will talk about, there are some good tips for that. There's also lots of LinkedIn advice that you can use just by searching on the tool as to how to boost your visibility. Or setting yourself a target of completing 1 job application per day. We all know they take forever. They're slightly quicker now if you're applying through LinkedIn, which is great, or with Elly's help and searching for roles that way. But don't overwhelm yourself. This is something that needs to be planned and organized and be prepared for. Now, the you're not alone, it might sound cliched, but you're not. And the fact that you're all on this together today demonstrates that there is a large number of people that are wanting a new position, searching for new roles, and feeling the impact of the pandemic and furlough, etc. So you have a community amongst you just today, which I hope you feel some strength about. Now, this is not a time to be shy and to think, oh, I won't contact that person because I haven't spoken to them for ages. Reach out to people that are in your network with your CV, with a conversation, with a virtual coffee, whatever it is. Getting you and what you want out there will only help. And I know that can feel a bit daunting. And I wondered whether anybody's got any examples of successes that they've had with this recently. And if you have, feel free to come off mute and share that or put it in the chat box.
I mean, just to give you an example, I guess, of our successes with that as recruiters, there's plenty of times, I mean, as recruitment consultants, we work with a lot of companies, but we do not work with every business. And I have had it before where I've tried to sort of get in with a C-level person or an IT director for a specific candidate, and it just hasn't worked. I can't get in with everyone, unfortunately, as much as I'd love to. And I've just said to the candidate, well, do you know anyone that's worked there before, or is there anyone in your network? Check your LinkedIn, who else works there? And people have successfully found secured work and jobs through people they know, and a recommendation at any level. It makes such a difference. So if you know anyone, definitely, I can't really recommend that enough. I know like Lucy said, then sometimes you feel like you're not very confident because you might not have spoke to this person in a couple of years, or time flies, we all know that. But I think reaching out to people is more important now more than ever. And there's such a community spirit. I know on LinkedIn, obviously I spend my days on LinkedIn, but the amount of people that copied and pasted the post that said, like, let me know if I can do anything. So many people shared that, and they genuinely do mean it. People want to help each other out in these difficult times. So lean on one another for sure.
And I'm also wondering, I guess, for those of you that are on, how much you use LinkedIn, because I know that when I was working in an organization as an HR business partner, I didn't really use LinkedIn very much because I kind of had my network of people that I worked with internally. I knew the sort of networks and CIPD sort of events that I wanted to go to. It was only when I started my own business that I started to understand the power of LinkedIn. So if you do feel that you're a novice, it really is worthwhile spending some time exploring the tool, using, as I said, what Elly's posted on her Back to Work tool, and finding out how to make the most of it. I'll just give you an example as well, Elly. I was working for a well-known sports retailer, and they had Anthony Joshua's belts in the canteen. when he was world champion. And so I went to the canteen and I held them at lunchtime and had them over my arm, and I put a post on LinkedIn. And out of that, I actually had one of my most kind of loyal clients, or developed into one of my best clients just from that one post. And I know, you don't always think that it's going to work, but it's worthwhile thinking how you can use LinkedIn to your to your advantage.
Definitely.
So that's kind of network, thinking about that. And you matter. Again, you're going to feel that you're going to have ups and downs, and sometimes it's just going to feel that, does anybody want to hire me? What am I worth? I just feel like giving up. And one of the things that we want to do today is to help you reassess your worth and what's important to you, and start thinking about how you can answer some of your own questions, and also help to develop your own motivation for the journey that you're going on at the moment. So if any of that's kind of resonating, either, again, just let me know as we've been talking through this, any thoughts that you've got or anything that you want to contribute. That would be really useful. But what I'm going to share with you now is we're going to do two things. And this is, I guess, where we're this sort of interactivity part of this session. Now, my role and my passion, my love, is to coach individuals. Now, with a number of you on the session today, that's not possible to spend the individual time with you. So what you're going to do is coach yourselves. We thought about whether we'd do some breakout rooms here and put you with other people, but actually, given the fact that some of you might have attended the session confidentially or maybe want to be here anonymously, we thought that might not work. So the next best thing is for you to spend some time reflecting. And particularly with the craziness at the moment and job searching, it can be really hard to focus that energy on yourself and carve out some space and some time so that you can think and reflect what it is that you want. So I'd like to share with you this model. It's called Ikigai. Has anybody come across this before? Be interested to hear.
No.
No? I can't see if anything's come up in the chat box whilst I'm sharing. So Elly, if anybody says that they have, then let me know.
Don't think so as of yet.
So this is a Japanese saying, and I really like this because there's a number of different kind of models that are for job finding and helping you think about your goals, etc. But it's quite fundamental what we're being asked at the moment, particularly with the pandemic and what's going on. And a lot of people are sort of questioning what job do you actually want? What does this mean? We've transitioned into working from home, and the way we work with our teams, with our with individuals has shifted. And that might mean that actually what you want to do has shifted. But if you're just coming out of a role or you've been made redundant and you're thinking, I just need to find the same again, this is an opportunity for you just to check in. Is that really what you want? Is it just about finding the same job again, or is it about something else? So I'm going to encourage you in the next few minutes to think about that. Now, this model, this Ikigai, suggests that what this Ikigai is your purpose, your reason for getting up in the morning. And it is a combination of you finding what it is that you love, what the world needs, what you're good at, and what you can be paid for. And it's that sweet spot in the middle that combines all of those that is why you get up and have a shower and get ready for the day. And a lot of that feels like that's been lost recently. So let's think about how we can uncover it. So we asked you to kind of grab a pen and paper before the session. And now, with that pen and paper, I'd like you to ask yourself these questions. Now, this hopefully might be the start of something deeper, but for this point of this session, we're just going to spend 3 minutes on this and seeing whether or not you can answer these and how honest you can be with yourself. So I think it's only me and Elly with our videos on, but I'm going to keep mine on. But I'm going to give you 3 minutes to have a go at answering these. And then I'd love to hear in the chat afterwards, actually, whether anything's come up for you. Have you learned anything about yourself whilst you've been answering these questions? So go ahead and have a go at the questions, and I'll see you in 3 minutes.
Oh, I love this. I feel like it is a great time to consider new opportunities, isn't it? So I think this is fantastic. So hopefully this little exercise will really help.
Okay, I might turn my video off actually, because then we're all quiet. Okay, so that's our 3 minutes up. I'm wondering how many people stayed and took some notes, or how many picked up their phones or did something else. And again, that might be because you're really sorted and you figured this all out. If anything's come to you as you've been doing that exercise and you're happy to share that, I'd love to see that in the chat. Interestingly, the origins of the Ikigai are from the Japanese island Okinawa, which has the most amount of centenarians, basically people who are 100 plus. So this kind of idea or understanding of what fulfills you, what's your purpose, has a strong correlation with satisfaction and overall well-being and longevity. So anybody notice anything? Anything come to anybody as you were doing that exercise? Again, if you want to use the chat, it'd be great to hear what you might have found out about yourself. The what does the world need question is quite a deep one, which if you've managed to answer in 3 minutes, then I'll be pretty amazed. A vaccine, I can hear some people shouting. We might be there, mightn't we, today?
Let's hope.
Okay, so I'm not seeing anything come through in chat. That might be because, oh, okay, thanks, Suzanne. So one thing you noticed was about skills, traits that you have but no longer utilize. Okay, so things that you're good at, but perhaps not able to use at the moment. So I'm wondering what you might do with that information now. Is that something that you might build into your job searching?
Add on to your CV, maybe.
Making people's lives better. Yeah, and achieving that through contact. James, totally agree with you. And again, that's one of the things that Elly and I wanted to try and do. I wonder what you might be able to do. And therefore, I kind of challenge you today, right now, is so what element of this Ikigai, what could you do differently just today, even after having done this exercise, that makes you feel more confident, more true, more authentic, and more focused on what it is that you need to get the fulfillment out of hopefully your future role. But even if you can't think that far right now, even out of today. So that is our first bit of kind of reflection that we're doing today. Now we're going to move on to our next bit. And again, it is, in fact, I'm going to stop sharing that so I can kind of talk you through this first of all. So just either a raise of hand or again in the chat, those of you that are familiar with coaching, either as leader as a coach, or have you got some coaching skills that you've used previously? Heidi, great thumbs up, thank you. So Heidi, this might not be Suzanne Brill, thanks. So this might be something that you're really used to doing, or it might be quite new. But what we're going to do is spend some time with you actually coaching yourself. So we're going to use a few questions to help you think about the situation that you are in right now, and see whether or not spending some time asking yourself some really pertinent coaching questions gets you to a different place than you were when you first joined this workshop. So I'll go ahead and show you what I mean. Let me put that on one sec. Get my slides back. There we go. So these are the questions that I would like you to ask yourself, or invite you to ask yourself. You might have logged off. They might not be interesting to you anymore. That's fine. If it is, that's great. We'll work with it. If not, then you can come back and we're going to do some tips before we finish today anyway. So you're going to coach yourself. The first question: what is your biggest issue facing you right now with regards to job searching? So what are you finding really tough? Second question you're going to ask yourself: what do you want to happen? So in coaching, we always think about what's the goal, what's the focus, where are you trying to get to? Let's imagine that. So articulate that to yourself. Really, what is it that you want? What do you want to happen? Then think about, well, what's happening right now? So is it that you're not finding the time in the day to do your applications? Is it that the feedback that you're getting isn't constructive? Is it that actually you've just found yourself in a position where you need to be looking for a job and you've got no idea what to do? Number 4 is, what could you do? So what do you already know and have available to you that you could be doing? And often this is just a process of having some space to think about what it is that you need to do. My position as a coach is that I believe you know what you need to do, and that by asking yourselves these questions, that will come to you and that you can figure it out. And the last question is, what will you do? So when you've asked yourself questions 1 through to 4, so what? What are you going to do about this new information? What can you take away and do right now? Does anybody have any questions about that before, again, we turn our cameras off and spend a bit of time reflecting? If you have got a question, you can always come off mute or put it in the chat box. So I can't see anything coming up in chat at the moment. I'll stay here. So if anything crops up, please feel free. I'm actually going to give you about 5 minutes to do this because there are some big questions. So I'm going to turn my camera off. I'll be here if you need me to ask me anything, but otherwise I'll see you in 5 minutes. So that's kind of the end of our 5 minutes. I'm feeling quite chilled, having spent a few moments thinking about those questions, and I'm wondering whether or not you having some time to think about those questions has helped you in any respect as to where you're at the moment. And if you're happy to share some of that in the chat box or come off mute and share, it'd be great to kind of hear how have those coaching questions helped you? What do you know now that you didn't before? And being a coach, I'm really cool with silence, so I'll wait a few moments. Kevin, interesting. The biggest challenge being the lack of opportunities. I know that Elly will want to talk about that, so she, will come on to that. Perhaps it might be useful just to share what area you're looking for work. Let's see if there's anybody on the session today that you could build a network with and share some information. Melanie, great, giving you a bit more focus, and that's one of the things that hopefully these types of coaching questions can help with. You guys need laser focus right now as to what it is that you want, so that you can clear the noise. Is it part-time? Is it contract? What role exactly is it you're looking for? Working with Elly to help you focus in on that as well. A reminder to have some focus time. Yeah. And again, I'm glad that if that's what you've had in this last 5 minutes, I'm glad to have been able to provide that space for you. Thinking about your contacts, go back on LinkedIn as soon as we've finished, or follow Elly in her Twitter journey as she learns how to use it. She might be able to give you some tips as well.
Maybe not just yet. Give me
okay. Give her a few days. Right, so what I'd like to do lastly is just to share with you a few tips. And I know Elly wants some time to take you through the tool, so I'm not going to spend too long on these. If you want to take a photograph of this screen or indeed a screenshot, then do. But in the main, don't panic. Companies are still hiring. We're also seeing new startups getting funding. There's been a huge wave of entrepreneurs using the pandemic and thinking about what does the world need now. If that's something that you're interested in, you can look at Angel List. That'll give you a good idea of startups that are new and that are hiring. And obviously, Elly can support you with that as well. Switch it up. If you want a permanent job and there's none out there, think short term or a contract, a maternity leave kind of contract. Think about some of that. I've started doing coaching sessions with my clients where we both go for a walk. I get on the phone, my client gets on the phone, and we go outside and we walk. I know we've not got much else available to us at the moment, but if sitting in front of your PC is doing your head in, get outside, do it in a different way. Again, if you liked that Ikigai way of thinking, spend some time with that. Don't waste your time focusing on finding a job that doesn't fit with your values and what you want and where you want to be spending your time. Suzanne, I think you mentioned about realizing that you've got these extra skills that you've not been putting to use. How can you build those into your CV? Is that something you can shout about on LinkedIn? If you haven't got that daily routine, get that in place. Figure out your best hours and use them as wisely as you can. And keep building that professional network. I can't say enough, especially if you've really not had that before or not used LinkedIn. I know it can feel scary, but just get out there and start thinking about how you can increase your visibility. Because the better or the more you do it, the better your chances are. So thank you, everybody. I really wish you all the best. As I said, you can do it, and there is a role for you. And with hopefully with Elly's support, and feel free to reach out to me if you think I can be of any use. We are here to help. So thank you very much. If you've got any feedback or any kind of comments that you want to put in chat, then that'd be great to hear. Or indeed, if you want to. Actually, one of the things I meant to say, Elly, is if people would be okay after this session to share details. I don't know how we can do that kind of GDPR. If you'd like to,
yeah, it's something that we can do. Is the feedback forms that Alicia is going to send around. You could put if you'd be interested in taking part in a community, and then we could build something. LinkedIn, or we can do something. I mean, that's certainly something. What I'll do is I'll give everyone a whistle-stop tour of the Back to Work tool, so it gives you an idea. And then at the end, if everyone can have a think about how they'd want that to look like, if they'd be interested in creating some sort of community together, then you can have a little bit of think while I'm having a quick chat about the Back to Work tool, then we can put together some ideas into action. I think that was what I'm going to do is Alicia's just going to put on now the Back to Work tool so everyone can take a little look at this. I think you've certainly re-energized and focused me for the day. So hopefully Lucy's given you some great ideas about really focusing in on exactly what you're looking for. And then our Back to Work tool can hopefully help with the rest. So I guess we're not just a recruitment agency at Transition Partners. There's a hell of a lot more to our job than that. And part of one of our biggest responsibilities from a company perspective is that we're really passionate about giving back to our community and being a community-led business. And when COVID struck back in March, and things just, well, one minute I had 100 roles on my desk and the next minute I had 3. The first thing that we thought of is the people. So we wanted to be able to create something that's going to be able to give back to our community. So we created a really simple free tool called the Back to Work tool. So hopefully you should be able to all see that on your screens now. Let me know if there's any problems. But has anyone used our Back to Work tool yet or not? Just you will, at the end of the session today, Alicia will send you a link so you can access it and have a little good look around. The idea is that the tool breaks down the challenges of finding work and makes it really easy for you to get your next opportunity. I completely agree with some of the comments that were made earlier. There's a lack of opportunities in the market. I do agree with that, but there are people still hiring, like Lucy says, and hopefully discussions of the vaccine yesterday, the market's starting to get a little bit more bustle around it. So hopefully there'll be some new opportunities open up and people plan to spend and invest, and fingers crossed it's going to create a lot of opportunity, which is what we all want. So yeah, I'll just give you a whistle-stop tour of the app today, but you will be able to play around with it, and we are really welcome to feedback. If there's anything on there that you find that is missing and we haven't put on there that you'd like to know more about, we can certainly add things to it. That's part of the progress that we're working on. It's a big project for us at the moment at Transition Partners. So the first section I'll talk about is like dream big, set goals. So each of the sections on the app, they have a video as well, so you can click on and watch a video, and it's a member of Transition Partners giving you their tips on the certain subject. So there we go, there's Sandra, our CEO and founder, talking all about setting goals, which is fantastic. So this section is all about finding your purpose. Don't just settle for a job. Let this be the time for a career. I think there's a lot of stuff that Lucy mentioned earlier. It's food for thought. But this is all about material around finding the right role based on your personality, skill set, long-term goals and objectives. So there's a whole section on there you can click on. You should be able to see there's some different areas that you can access and click on for information. Secondly, we're going to talk about the market. So now is more competitive than ever. I think Kevin mentioned there's so many people applying for jobs. We've gathered our inside knowledge to give you VIP access to what the market's really like, what's going on behind the job ads. And this is going to help you in finding the right recruiter for you. Ideally, we'd love it to be Transition Partners and we'd love to help everyone. But we do specialise in tech, business change, transformation and digital. So if it's not in your market, it's about finding the right person who is able to help you. Next section is all around being LinkedIn savvy, and there's one around building your personal brand. So I think this is something that Lucy mentioned earlier. LinkedIn's a bit of a minefield for a lot of people, and it can be quite daunting. These are actually, for me, this is the most important area at the moment, currently, because there's so many people looking for work, and being able to stand out from the crowd is more important than ever.
Elly, can I just add in two things there? I work really closely with a career coach and or a few of them, and if you haven't got it on already, you can put the green thing on around your face that says open to work. Definitely do that. The other thing, I've just had two people from this session send me a LinkedIn request, so thank you for that. I'll definitely add you because I share roles that my clients are advertising. So kind of got a data scientist role at the moment. I've got one that my clients are working with, so I'll share that. But also in your kind of description of what your role is, make sure that in that you put the role that you are looking for, because that is what's searchable. So if you want to put software engineer, or you're putting business change kind of transformation specialist, startups, but make sure that that is in your that first line that people see that describes you, because that's searchable and that's what stands out. It's one of the key things I've picked up from the LinkedIn gurus that I've been working with.
I think when you mentioned the open to work tool as well, the setting on your LinkedIn, that's super important, because the first thing as soon as we get any requirement from our clients is we look on LinkedIn Recruiter. So that's like an advanced setting of LinkedIn that we've got. And the first candidates we'll look for are people that are open to opportunities, looking for work at the moment. So we actually can flick that on. So we're only looking at the people who have got the green dot, because we know that they're immediately available and looking for work. And people are doing it, and people want to be able to help and support when and where they can. So I think definitely being visible around the market is so important. There's so many little tips and tricks around standing out that we've put on the portal. So there's little things, for example, like when you're applying for a job, say you applied for a role at, say, Asda, big company, quite easy, I guess, application. Many people are applying for jobs with Asda at the moment. You can then connect with the HR team on LinkedIn, but what you can do to really bring your application to life is in LinkedIn, if you go on a messenger, so I was about to send a message to Lucy, instead of sending a little message saying, hi Lucy, I'm Elly, I've seen this job advert, I'm really interested in applying, you can just flick it to record, and you can record a video and send it direct to the manager. Because the problem with applications, and this is, I guess, where a really good recruitment partner will be able to help, is bringing your application to life, bringing your personality, your character to life from a CV. And you get that when you work with a headhunting agency, but you don't get that when you're applying directly for a role yourself. So by flicking it to a video and recording a little message saying like, "Hi, Lucy, I've seen you're into horse riding and I am too. I wanted to get in touch because Asda are recruiting for XYZ and I'm really passionate because I've done this, this and this before, wanted to connect and meet you in person. Please let me know if you'd be interested in having a virtual coffee. I'm actively looking for work at the moment. And I'd love to get a job with Asda. I heard some amazing things. You know, like just making it personal and being a little bit more direct with your approach can certainly help. I know videos aren't for everyone, but standing out from the crowd is crucial right now. Building your personal brand, building that network is now more important than ever, and lean on one another. But it's all about bringing your applications to life with hiring managers, internal recruiters, and experts within your field. It's all about building allies. Who else will be able to help you? Who is really well connected? Who's going to sing your praises? Who's going to give you a LinkedIn recommendation? These are all things that we need to sort of take into consideration, and they're all on the Back to Work tool about how to do that. Perfecting your CV and the search, they come hand in hand, really. These are all about preparing you for market. I'm sure lots of you have probably received advice on your CV so far, and sometimes it can be confusing because people give you mixed signals. Some people say, I only want a CV with 1 page of information. To me, I do not want the CV with 1 page of information, because if you've got 20 years experience within change and transformation, how am I going to get that from 1 piece of paper? So I like at least sort of 2 pages, but I don't want 20. So kind of in between 2 to 4 for me works really well, to be able to get enough content around your experience and what you've done. If you work in design, more digital, let's make that your CV. Like, you've got to think about UX and how we can do a better job of bringing your CV to life and be a bit creative with it. But that section should be able to deliver you some top tips. You only get 1 chance to apply for a job, so I think it's really important that we make it count. Whether that be your cover letter, whether it be direct videos or messages to HR teams as well, I think it's a really good idea. Catching attention and scrubbing up on your skills. So it's all about nailing that interview. This is a confidence and resilience around self-awareness, beliefs and values. I think Lucy mentioned it earlier about getting the right job with the right, I guess, morals and ethics for you as well. That's so important. You don't want just any job. We don't want to be in the same position 6 months down the line, but you want to find someone that's going to be right for you long term. And I think actually, one thing you mentioned earlier, Lucy, which is really important with your search and applying for jobs, is that you can apply for temporary and contract roles as well. I think when you've only worked in permanent positions in the past, you might be put off by that aspect, but please do apply for anything and everything. If you're available immediately, there's no reason you cannot be considered for contract roles, day rate contracts, etc., and project work. All of these opportunities are open to you. And then I think lastly, self-care, which is, I know I said LinkedIn savvy and building a brand is really important, but actually this is the most important one. It's really, I guess you've got to be kind to yourself. In this space, we offer tips around financial advice, physical, mental well-being, managing the stress of it all. Looking for work is one of those sort of significantly tough times within your life, but creating groups and communities like this, it helps realize that there is light at the end of the tunnel. This search is temporary and we will find you something. We just need to work together. Going through pandemics like this, it doesn't happen very often, and to be out of work, it's awful, but it's temporary, and that's what we just need to keep thinking and working towards the next opportunity. Lucy mentioned it earlier, but you've got so much value to add, so many skills that any business would be lucky to have you, and even better for them is a bonus that you're available immediately at the moment. So that's awesome, and provides opportunities for business with projects that they're looking for people and skills that they need straight away. So I think the Back to Work tool, as I say, we're going to send it to a link following the feedback forms on today's session. So please do have a play around with it. As I said, if there's anything you think we can improve on with it, we'd love to. We want to be able to help our community now more than ever. So any tips and advice that you want adding to that, please feel free to email back Alicia and let her know she's been managing the project. So well done, Alicia. I hope everyone will think she's done a superb job on this. We're really proud of it. And hopefully it will benefit you all individually and help you on your journey to finding your next opportunity. So yeah, without further ado, we'll let everyone crack on, I guess, for the day. Lucy's refocused us and given us some food for thought. So lots of things to be cracking on with and jobs to be applying for, but definitely do take a look at the back to work tool. We can get, Alicia, can we send that round to everyone this afternoon so people can start having a little look at that? That'd be fantastic. Follow us, Transition Partners, get involved in all our events. They're all free. So please do take part and get stuck in and build your network. I know it feels quite isolating at the moment with everything going on with COVID, but there really is a fantastic community out there that are people that are really rooting for you. So do lean on the community. Don't be afraid to ask for help. We'd love to help you at Transition Partners if we can as well. So please do reach out to us, connect with us on social media as well, and keep an eye on opportunities that we've got on as a business as well. But massive thanks to Lucy. She really is an expert within her field, and I've loved working with her on this project. So hopefully there'll be plenty more to come from us both in the future. Will we see if there's been any comments about that community then, Lucy?
There hasn't been so far, but I'm wondering whether that's something that we could follow. Oh, hang on. Suzanne said yes. If we keep that, I think we saved the chat anyway, so we can have a look back through it. And if we follow up.
Actually, just on that point, is anyone part of any communities already that have been really helpful? Because that would be good to share with one another. If there's anything, if there's like one top tip that you've had out of your job search, it might be good to just share that with everyone, because it might help inspire someone else that's looking for work at the moment as well. Lean in Leeds, great community. Yeah, that's a fantastic one. Leeds Digital, actually, I think Nathan asked me earlier about where I'd seen these job posts on Twitter. I'll have a quick chat with you about Twitter. And it was on Leeds Digital, actually, but you can just search in like hashtag vacancies, hashtag job opportunities and things like that, and job roles will come up. But I think particularly if you're more technical, which I believe Nathan, I think you are, you're a developer, is that right? You will be able to find technical UX digital type roles. That a lot of them will be on Twitter, and a lot of our clients over in Europe actually advertise on Twitter as well.
Ellie, just want to do a quick time check because I know it's just a bit past 2, so anybody that needs to drop off, just wanted to say thank you very much. But those of you that are kind of happy to stay on, I think we're still going to share some community stuff. So if you can hang on, then do. But otherwise, you know, do get in touch with us if you need any more help or any more pointers. Yeah, and good luck. But
yeah, if anyone's got any questions, then feel free to pop them in the chat now, and we'll hang around for a few minutes and hopefully help answer them. Or if you want to turn your video on and have a chat, I'm more than happy to help for sort of. I've got about 10 or 15 minutes for my next meeting. I'm sure you're probably the same, Lucy. But if we can help and anything comes back from feedback, we'd love to do what we can. But thank you so much for taking part today.
Bro.
Any questions?
I think the Leeds Digital Festival was brilliant. I met loads of people through that. Yeah, just hanging out and Grace, I can see you've come off mute. Nope. Not meant to.
Oh, James said that's been excellent. Plenty to think about. Thank you. Oh, thank you, James. I'm glad that it's been positive for you. We want to be able to help wherever we can. Super. Yeah, Leeds Digital has been fantastic. I think the community online and.
Thank you, Aruna.
Thanks, Aruna.
Good luck with everything.
Yeah, good luck, guys, definitely. And if anyone wants any interview tips or anything like that, please do get in touch. I'm more than happy to have a chat with people and help interview prep, and always good at being a cheerleader when it comes to people's interviews. And bit of support network's nice, isn't it?
It is, yeah. For those of you that are left on, if you did want to just ask anything, you're really welcome. I know that not everybody's kind of rushing off, so Malik, thank you. LinkedIn ID, right, let's do that. 1 sec.
Oh, I believe I'm the only Elly Greaney on LinkedIn. Actually,
bear with me.
Oh, do you know?
Right, Aruna, challenge accepted.
You're going to send your QR code?
Oh no, I'm not as technical as that, but
this is a really good net. When we are allowed back out to meet people, this is my top networking tool. If you go on LinkedIn, in the top bit here,
yeah,
you can press QR code and it says LinkedIn QR code, so you can scan someone else's like that and it comes up.
oh nice.
Or you can share your QR code. But you know, when you for me, I love this tool because you know when you go to an event and it's really loud and you can't hear people's names.
Yeah.
I'm really bad. I always struggle with that. If you can, instead of saying, oh, what's your name, I'll find you on LinkedIn, you can just say, can I get your LinkedIn QR code? And it's great. And you end up really networking and building up loads of people. For me, my memory is not very good and my hearing.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I really like that.
Hopefully people again.
Yeah, I think business cards are just basically redundant now, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I still like them.
Oh yeah, it's quite frowned upon to give out business cards now. Sustainability piece and right, you don't need them, do you, LinkedIn brings it to life, doesn't it?
Yeah, very much so, especially with I like the fact you can record your name as well on LinkedIn now.
Yes.
So you get the pronunciation, that's good too. And again, another way of being able to just, you know, hearing somebody's voice as they're looking for you and found you. I
think so.
That connection, that kind of relational thing.
When people, you know, like send messages to hiring managers and it's all done via email, it's great. But if someone sends me an email, I know the amount of CVs and emails that I get, sales emails, for example, emails are quite easily deleted. But when it's a LinkedIn person, you see their face, it's a person, and it really brings it to life, doesn't it? So I think it's, and they can see when you've read a message. Like if I'm texting people, I'll always use WhatsApp. I know if they've read a message then. I feel like text messages, you're busy, they get forgotten, don't they?
Yeah.
You've seen it. So you've got to
yeah, that's true.
Straight away.
I think I am going to head off, Elly. If everybody, I can see that we've got a few people still left on, so I'm wondering if they're just hanging on, if they've got a question.
Might have grabbed lunch, so it's fine. But what we'll do is all recorded today anyway, so it will go on the live on the YouTube, and then Alicia will be in touch with Nathan.
Nathan, yeah, sharing LinkedIn. Oh yeah, those of you, Josh, Aruna, you might want to share yours as well, so that you can.
Yeah, definitely, and and then we can
link in with each other.
Yeah, but Alicia will be in touch with feedback, so we can get some ideas about creating some sort of community anyway.
Super.
Perfect. All right, lovely. We'll let everyone get off for the day. Good luck with everyone's job searching at the moment, and we'll speak to you soon.
Bye bye.
Right, thanks, Lucy. See you later.